in Nigeria and around the world. This is Business Morning. It's Thursday, the 8th of August. Let's get the show started. I am Bosin Amafaya, and we're going straight to some market news coming in through. Airtel Africa PLC says the telco is planning to seek admission for its ordinary share capital to the premium listing of the official list and to trade on the main market of the London Stock Exchange, part of what the company reported as a listed company to the Nigerian Stock Exchange on Wednesday. 8 global banks, including JP Morgan, Citigroup, and Goldman Sachs, according to Airtel, has been appointed to work on an initial public offer plan and looking to use the funds to reduce external debt. Airtel Africa was incorporated and registered in England and Wales in July last year as limited by shares of $1.50 divided into 15 ordinary shares of 0.10 American cents each. The company had a total issued voting shares as at 31st July, 3.758 billion ordinary shares of 50 American cents each, another 50,000 non-voting redeemable deferred shares of £1 each, and 3.081 billion non-voting deferred shares of 50 American shares in issue, part of the disclosure of this new company by listing on both London and the Nigerian Stock Exchange just about 3 months ago. This is Airtel's first post-listing earnings or information to the market as far as the state of the telecommunications concerned. So Airtel Africa PLC is reporting to the market what you heard about going to the main board of the London Stock Exchange was part of the 4-page strategic report contained in the numbers or the entire report sent to the authorities in the last 24 hours. So what are the, in summary, what are the highlights of what Airtel Africa reported, part of what you see now on your TV screen? The numbers you're looking at is for the period between July last year and March 2019. So the pre-tax profit, according to Airtel Africa PLC, was $3.074 million US. A net profit for the period came in at $2.49 million US. Operating loss within the period, according to Airtel, was $669,259 US. As a company registered in England and Wales, Airtel Africa PLC says its UK corporate tax, which was 19%, came in at $584,180. That's it in summary, what Airtel Africa reporting this morning, but says it has a strategic plan to move on to list on the main board of the London Stock Exchange. We'll track all of this for you throughout today and in the days ahead, how the markets reacted to the latest market information from Airtel Africa PLC, which is just about a year old as a company. Meantime, good news for Nigeria. If you're online, on the wire, on Twitter, perhaps you've seen this morning, but if not, this is it. Morgan Stanley Capital International. Well, this is the world's #1 organization doing global indexes for all markets, categories of markets, from developed to developing and even frontier markets. So MSCI says it's adding MtnN Nigeria Communications PLC to its MSCI Frontier Market Indexes. That will take place at the end of business on August 27th, later this month. This addition of MtnN Nigeria PLC as part of MSCI August quarterly index review of its global basket of indexes. This is one good news. This is the first telecommunication company to be included, Nigerian company, to be included in the MSCI Frontiers Markets Indexes. It's a big news. It's one big story. And of course, we're tracking that for you as well. Just came in today. Meantime, sell-offs continue on the Nigerian market. The stock market has been hit by a bearish sentiment. That's now moving into the fixed income market, now pushing the yield curve a little bit higher on treasuries and the Naira bonds, even as the central bank pursues aggressive treasury bills sale this week to defend the Naira and rein in liquidity. What part of the stories you hear later on the program. But let's follow what's just in today in our box as we wake up to the for the fourth day of the week and the marketplace, Airtel earnings and MtnN Nigeria PLC inclusion or addition to the MSCI frontier markets indexes. Let's get across to Temple Ashaju, our business correspondent, one of our business correspondents at the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Temple, this is just in. These are two big stories, but let's start with the MtnN making the MSCI frontier market. This is one big news and a big jump for these telco giants.
Correct, Bosun. It's good news because, again, it brings the total number of Nigeria's companies, NSE-listed companies that you have on the MSCI Frontier Index now to, I think, 11 or thereabout. We've got the likes of Guarantee Trust Bank. Dangote Cement is a major performer there. So July, when you looked at the performance of the companies tradable on that platform, Dangote Cement ranks top there. You got GT Bank, you got Access Bank, Stanbic IBTC, Nigerian Breweries, Nestle, FBN Holdings, in spite of some issues around NPL and all of that, given the fact that they're already addressing all of those issues, you know, they're still out there. And even though we know that as of July the 4th this year, the MSCI Frontier Index for Nigeria was down by some 15%, in spite of the fact that there hasn't been any policy direction to shape things up for the market. So now we're getting no deletion from the MSCI Frontier Index. Instead, we're having just one addition, and that is the MtnN Nigeria. It tells us that we're still in good shape. We don't really have any FX issues as opposed to what we had as of 2015. Sometimes in April 2015, we recall that MSCI was trying to delist Nigeria and give us some kind of special treatment. Put on as at 2017, I think we got a standalone position there. So now that MtnN is coming on board, it just tells us that individual stocks are still doing well. They're still meeting the criteria demands for MSCI Frontier Index. They are still being able to meet all of that. Investors are still able to take their capital and possibly dividends when they as and when due. So MtnN is also there now. It means for investors who are participating on this particular telecom stocks have opportunity to still be able to, you know, trade on that platform. They are tracking that company. That's what it means. It's one of the major companies that serves as a benchmark for the Nigerian market here. That's, for me, is the position that we see, or the plus that we see when it comes to the addition of MtnN to that platform, Bosun.
MtnN, big story, I'm sure, from August 27, or even now that the news is hitting the street, I'm sure investors who will be looking at this company, look at the valuation, analysts will be poring over it. What does it really mean in terms of when you get on MSCI index, or any of the indexes, that's the big league. That's as big as you can get as a company. That means the recognition globally has actually come for you as a local company. That's one story there. But let's talk about Airtel as well. The earnings are just coming through. This is technically an old company in a new bottle. Technically speaking, Airtel Africa was registered last year and incorporated as a new company to be the new vessel for Airtel doing business across a number of jurisdictions on the continent for a number of years. So this is new. This is a company which is pushing out its first post-listing earnings. This is good. Tempo, is it?
It is, Bosun. I mean, disclosure rules, it means they are abiding by the terms of disclosure rules here in the markets. They are also abiding by the post-listing obligations. I mean, Nigerian unit CEO, Mr. Ogunsanya, had said it during the listing here on the Nigerian Stock Exchange that they will try as much as possible to meet with all of the post-listing standards and obligations, which is transparency, disclosure of all of these earnings and all of that. And it serves as, this particular disclosure serves as their first position or first opportunity to actually meet all of those demands, and they've met it. So they've released the numbers now. We're saying the profit before tax coming in at over $3 billion. Got profit after tax also coming after some operating expenses deductions there. So I mean, it's huge. It just tells you that, okay, investors have access to their numbers now, have access to whatever they would need to know about this particular company. For foreign investors who are waiting and watching for the policy direction in Nigeria to come to play, if they're looking at numbers or companies rather that they will want to put money down on, Airtel, you know, still gives room, given the voting rights that they also now have on the London Stock Exchange. All of these are positive positive developments for this particular company, because these are sort of information that offshore investors are really keen about. So by the time you're putting their funds together, doing the evaluations, looking at what companies to actually channel funds to, for those domestic investors that have actually participated in buying Airtel shares, by the time the offshore investors resume their interest in the Nigerian markets here, they have a positive position. They have a better opportunity to actually take profits and get out of the market, Bosun.
Thank you, Temple Ashad. Very interesting. Chew this together. It's a developing story. It just came in, so I'm sure you'll hear a lot more in the course of the day, how all this are pacing out and what the reactions of the Nigerian market traders, other professionals are regarding MtN and MSCI and Airtel Africa. First major information to the market since its listing in London and Lagos. Thank you so much, Temple. Great to have you on the show today.